The third use case we see alongside this is just speeding up data team onboarding and ramp. On average, an analyst typically spends 18 months on the job. It typically takes them 6 months to onboard inside an organization. One of our data teams, leading insurance company, they reduced that time, like basically they reduced almost all that time by making these assets reusable and reproducible inside their org, right? So how do you help new joinees ramp and get productive as quickly as possible? Quick shout out, this is why we're so excited by what dbt is doing with the semantic layer and what this means to data teams. Metrics is in some ways the language of the business. And for the first time with the dbt Atlan integration, in some ways, you're now able to bridge this gap between the language of the business, which is typically where the service request almost always starts, and actually bridge it back to your data layer and bridge it back to your physical layer. So metrics now are a first-class citizen in Atlan. Every metric has an asset profile, which has 360 context about the metric. Who owns it? Where does it come from? Which team does it belong to? And full lineage all the way back to source. So if you have a metric, let's say revenue, you're able to measure it all the way back to the source Postgres database that's actually creating or feeding in that metric. So that question, what does this metric actually mean? How is it derived is now no more something that you actually need to do as a service request inside the org.